Chairman thanks the gentlelady. The chairman now recognizes Representative Mann.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'd like to associate myself with the positive remarks towards outgoing Chairman Graves. He's a good friend, and he will be missed. Thank you all for being here today. I represent the Big First District of Kansas. Aviation is a critical industry in the state of Kansas with roughly 100 general aviation airports, several commercial and regional airports, and a huge footprint in aviation and aerospace manufacturing. The FAA Reauthorization Act of 2024 included critical provisions to ensure that our aviation industries are able to improve services, bolster our workforce, and promote American manufacturing innovation. That's why it's crucial that the FAA and DOT waste no time in implementing the provisions set forth in the bill so that the aviation industry can continue to get to work. Just a handful of quick questions. First for you, Mr. Terreri. The Big First, my district has 60 primarily rural counties, and we depend on reliable air services to connect to the rest of the world. Please speak to the importance of certain provisions in reauthorization, like the Airport Improvement Program and new aircraft innovation, that are critical to ensuring that all communities can access air service.
So I think one of the biggest benefits is we've started to really bring forward advanced air mobility, and what you're seeing in where the airlines, and you've seen a reduction in service to smaller communities that used to have air service. Now, using advanced air mobility, that's a feasible business model that can actually work to fill that gap as airlines start to kind of consolidate in. So in this bill, starting to lay the groundwork for advanced air mobility and integrating into airports and into airspace, that's going to be key. And then on the airport side, the additional funding this is going to be a different type of infrastructure. So allowing now to build the proper infrastructure that is needed to support these smaller communities that ultimately need access to the airspace system.
Yeah, I agree. Thank you. Next question for you, Mr. Bunce. You rightly highlighted the importance of FAA and industry workforce efforts and the correlation between technical expertise and then oversight. As a proponent of the manufacturing workforce program, please elaborate on how this would further innovation, competitiveness, but also safety.
Well, sir, as you know, Kansas is one of our centers of excellence for aviation. It's not lost on anyone. We have the air capital of the world in Wichita, but also throughout the state we have a tremendous supply base. And the institutions of learning in Kansas have really tried to develop, whether it's up in Salina or Wichita State, NIAR, all of these different great places where we're taking young people and training them, but we've got to keep that feedstock going. And I think that's where if we can get the appropriations and the money toward the manufacturing side, it really does help us keep the leadership that we need in the world. The programs that are developed, I'm very familiar with the one in Wichita State, where they're taking young people that are coming out of the military at McConnell Air Force Base and being able then to have an apprentice program with our companies that surround Wichita, and so they're able to make a living while they're going to school, getting their ratings that they need from the FAA to be able to enter and do the manufacturing and maintenance. It's a fantastic program, and it should be a model for what we can do throughout the nation.
I agree. Great for veterans, great for the industry, great for everybody. One last quick question. From an FAA perspective, why are knowledge-sharing opportunities with industry so important? I think we often think about the industry standpoint, but from FAA's perspective, why is that critical?
Sir, I mentioned earlier that we're filling a great pool of experience that left the FAA due to retirement and aging out, or we in industry, we pay them more, we hire them away. And so we've got a bunch of young people in there, and the young people, they're ready to go. They want to learn, they want to apply the skills that they learned in college, but they don't have that ability to draw on the expertise that they used to. And so what we're doing, and the FAA supported us through the help of this committee to be able to go and do these skills enhancement training, where we'll take them to our factories and we will have them sit down with the engineers and be able to say, this is how we do it here. Or we host conferences. We at Gamma just hosted a battery conference. Lithium-ion batteries, we all know about, the potential for thermal runaway and a fire. That's why we have the procedures when we go on the aircraft and that. But there's new ways to be able to mitigate that, and we need to be able to teach new people in the FAA what modern technology allows us to make it very safe, that you can fly these in the unmanned vehicles, and also in the advanced air mobility vehicles. So this is absolutely critical for this knowledge transfer, that it goes from industry to government, but then also government can say, this is how I will approach regulating this, and it allows us to have that confidence and relationship building back and forth to make the system work.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I yield back.
Chair thanks the gentleman.